Revival Building Group. We are your builder. We're over here in Furlong, just outside of Doylestown. We're renovating the first floor of this home, a little bit of the second floor, including the kitchen, the bathroom on the first floor, all new paint and trim, doors, cabinetry, countertops, new floors. We've got railings and the stairs getting worked on today by the painters. We have Joe Teresi from Teresi Painting Services and his team out here. They've been doing an outstanding job prepping and painting each room. The house is really starting to look immaculate. The customers are getting really excited. We have a ton of people working out here today. It's crunch time. I even might have my tool belt on for a little bit. No promises, but let's go check it out. We're sanding the stairs right now, taking off the original stain, prepping them for the next stain, which will match the floor as best as possible. This is actually a really tedious process. Andrew from Teresi Painting Services has been at this all day, slowly sanding the stain off of each step, multiple passes. It's really something that just can't be rushed. It's very tedious, but we love him for doing it, and he's doing a great job. But he also, if you notice his vacuum, the Festool sander is set up to a vacuum, which is also a Festool vacuum. It's a really nice setup that keeps all the dust down in the house to an absolute minimum. I really like how they use this equipment to the best of all of our advantages. Vacuums and like the higher end vacuums like Festool are really important to our projects, especially in a remodel. Once you get going, keeping the dust to a minimum is an absolute must because you don't want to have to dust and clean finished surfaces that have been installed. So when you have things like sanding taking place with finished cabinetry and the countertops and everything else just in the other room, you want to make sure that whoever you're using to sand and do that finishing process or the prep process for staining is really just doing what they can to minimize their dust on other trades. The countertops just got put in. There's a second round of countertops going in, as well as the backsplash. In some areas we have tile backsplash going in, and in other areas we have countertop being continued all the way up the wall behind the kitchen range and on the one side of the refrigerator. What that means is the countertops have to get installed first, and then they come back a second time and they template the wall so that they can cut the stone that goes onto the wall super precise that it literally just slides in between all the cabinets and slides in above the countertop. They have to install the countertop first before they can template all that because there's no way to, specifically cut that stone. You're gonna tell them which one. You just compare and contrast them and figure out which ones you like best. Don't open them until you're ready though.
Trying on this one, it has a tight fit, but also it's not too tight. My eyes are able to breathe, and I feel like it looks pretty cool on me. Trying on these ones now.
Safety first.
I'm not the biggest fan of these ones.
Put this back on. You look like a skydiver, dude. These might be for you. I don't know. We just gotta make sure your eyes stay safe. You're doing a lot of sanding.
These ones are tough because their sunglasses keep me protected from the sun.
I think these might be for you.
Ooh. These ones are comfortable.
So you're gonna wear ear protection. Where's your sander at?
What was that?
Maybe before you put the ear protection on, make sure you can hear me first, all right? Here's your 80 grit. You're gonna start with this. Then you're gonna move from 80 to 180. Then you're gonna move from that to 220. And then once you're done, ideally all the stain, this is the bottom, so this is what it should look like. We want all the stain off of this. So once you get all the stain off of it with the 80, then come grab me or Joey and have us take a look at it and see how much further we're gonna need to go. Because sometimes if you sand too much, you sand it too smooth, the stain won't take to the product. But I think we should be good going all the way up to 220, but if we start going any higher than that,
So first sand 80 until it's...
Yeah, take the 80 grit, don't keep it in one spot for too long, and you wanna go back and forth with the sander.
Got it.
Okay? You don't wanna go against the grain, you wanna go with the grain. And then always make sure the sander's moving so that way you don't cause any divots or anything like that. We're gonna start on the bottom, so if you butcher this, which I'm not sure how you would,
but I've been surprised before, so we've learned. We're gonna start on the bottom. Make sure when you put it on, these holes kind of go with those holes, because those holes right here suck dust up and they kick out right here. Normally we'd have it hooked up to a vacuum, but because you're outside today, you don't need to, right? So I'm gonna go on. You don't have to push too hard. Sometimes you gotta give it a little bit of this and then, right? See how it's already coming off pretty quickly? In addition to that, it's turned all the way up, which is good for you right now. But just, you want to make sure that if this gets caked up with a bunch of stuff and if you feel this and it starts to feel smooth and you can't feel the grit anymore, you got to swap out the pad, okay? Right. But if you blow through this whole stack of pads, we're going to have a problem. I swear to God. Don't be swapping pads out like you're eating hot dogs, dude. Putting down 5 at a time. I'm coming back out here in probably 2 minutes to make sure you haven't done anything. All right. If you're having a hard time getting it off, like don't push down like this, because you'll bind this motor up and it'll like spin slower. So what you want to do is just kind of tilt this up on an angle and grab like the edge of this and just go, and then come back and make sure you smooth it out. Got just this white truck sitting in the middle of the street. Possible, we might have to save somebody.
Probably me, dude. He's watching me sand.
You think so? You're pretty self-absorbed ever since you ate all those hot dogs. Look at this. Should we wave? Oh, the granite? You can come in the back door here or the front. Probably this door. Thanks. I'll talk to these guys.
One of the coolest little, I'll call it a hack, a little trick that I've been using. A company called Aria, now called Fitts, I believe, F-I-T-T-E-S, changed their name for some reason, but they make a series of vents that are really, really expensive, and they're designed to make it like flush with the floor. But they also sell a much cheaper version that you can kind of drop into the floor over top. You cut a piece of the flooring to go into the flooring, and they pop in and out quite easily. I believe this vent's, maybe $25 plus shipping. It really gives the floor like a real custom look for not a lot of money. So the kitchen has a lot going on. We have brand new cabinets straight from Lancaster County, Amish country. These cabinets are built to perfection. I'm really happy with the company. I would shout them out, but they don't exist as far as I'm concerned. You can't have them. They're a secret weapon. We have a coffee bar over here on our right. We're gonna have an espresso machine set up on the countertop over there. All of the cabinetry has under cabinet lighting. All of our outlets, instead of putting them in the wall, we have them underneath the cabinets so that the backsplash is just perfectly flat. There's no like receptacles or anything in the way, because sometimes that doesn't look really that great. High-end, high fashion, as we like to say. So the countertops, the first round just went in. We have the sink going in right now. Friday, the plumber will come back and install the faucets, soap dispenser, air switch for the garbage disposal, all of those next items that need to get taken care of. So if you notice, we have like way more holes than you normally would in a kitchen. That's because we are using a filtration system. We have the main faucet that will come out over top of here that's quite industrial looking, really classy. And then we have the air switch and the soap dispenser built into the countertop. The air switch turns the garbage disposal on and off, but underneath the sink, we're gonna have a multi-stage water filter with changeable filters. And then we'll have a filtered water coming out of this side into a different faucet to provide you with cold or hot filtered water, which is starting to become a big deal because of the amount of metals and different pollutants and things that are in the water, that a lot of people are using, Brita, or they have filtration in the refrigerator. This system is set up to filter a lot more of those heavy particles out, whereas your filter in your refrigerator only has one filter. This has 3 or 4, depending on which model you get. So we'll swing back around after the plumber's done near the end of the project and we'll get a shot of that. But that is something I'm definitely recommending doing for a lot of customers now, just because everybody's starting to become a lot more concerned, and rightfully so, with water quality. And that's one of the ways you can tackle that issue and also have it look good. We also have a piece of cabinetry in the corner here today that had to go in after the countertops went in. So I scheduled the cabinetry company to come in at the same time as the countertop company and let them know that that was happening. I didn't just sneak one by them and just made them wait around. So they were able to have the countertop company come right in, install the cabinets on top of the countertop, and now we have all of our cabinets installed. The next step in terms of cabinetry is to do all the finishing touches like the crown molding, but we have to wait to do that until the backsplash goes in, because we're actually doing a full height backsplash from the countertop all the way up behind the range. If you look on the range wall where the hood should be, there's just a piece of plywood there. That's so that the countertop company can actually install the countertop piece around that piece of plywood, and then the hood gets installed on top of that, and it'll be completely flush all the way around. A little bit of the backsplash material will be behind the hood, so you'll never see that seam. And then after that gets installed, they'll come back and do all the trim pieces and stuff that gets returned back into the countertop material. It would be too difficult to cut the countertop material to go around the crown molding and everything like that, so we just wait to do it. It's a little bit of an extra step. We also didn't put shoe molding anywhere in this house as well. We put the floors in first. It was like roughly 2,500 square feet of flooring, and then all the trim and doors went in after that, right on top of the floor. And it's a much cleaner look. We're using a Metro base molding here. Metro is the company or the style from Garden State Trim. It's really looking great. We used a solid stock, like a 1x4 in some places, 1x3 in other places, with just like a simple back band for all the trim throughout the entire house. All the windows got new trim, new sills, new bottom band or sill back, and all new doors as well. The countertop material is a silestone. It's actually synthetic, man-made. It makes it a little bit different to work with. You have to take different considerations than with granite, but it is equally as durable, doesn't stain like marble would. We have a couple little accent areas that we're waiting for Joe to get to. We have shiplap on the ceiling in here, as well as on the fireplace wall, that will all get painted a color called peppercorn. It's like a black color, looks outstanding. All the rest of the house is getting painted white and matched with the natural color floors, the black cabinets with the natural insets, a good amalgamation of black and natural wood with the white countertops, the light color floor, the white walls and trim. It's just really gonna make this house look super large and airy. All of our furniture is coming in about a week, so it is absolute crunch time right now. So we're about 2 weeks away from completely finishing this project. The only things left to do are the backsplashes, paint, the final electrical install, and the final plumbing install. So once all that's done, the cleaning team will come through and get this house ready for the furniture delivery, and then the furniture will get delivered at the end of this month and we'll be out of here.